Let's actually do some algebra on a couple of slides and derive this conclusion. And I'm going to simplify my notation. We have an expression for di and I'm going to just call it alpha 2 p2 minus q2 p2 dt. And of course, the subscript 2 means that these are the symbols evaluated at time t2. So I'm going to save myself a bit of notation. I then have a formula for n, which is q2 p2 divided by q1 p1 times the differential of the T1 bond. So that's alpha 1 P1 dt minus Q1 P1 dz. This is a z here, sorry. P1 dz. And then I finally have plus the RW dt. So that's my differential simplifying notation. I can then multiply it all out, and what I get is alpha 2 P2 minus Q2 P2 over Q1 P1 times P1. No, this term here would be Q2 P2, this would be an alpha 1 dt plus RW dt. Let me just check and make sure that's correct. And the P1s canceled. I had a P1 there at the start, and it canceled, and I just ended up with the alpha. So I think this is now correct. And so now what I want is I want that, so my final formula is that, let me see, I just lost myself here, Dave, so I'll redo this in just a second.
Sure.
Okay, so we have an expression for di, and we now want di to be equal to r times I dt. So that's going to tell us that we want di, this expression, to be equal to r times I, and I is now P2, and I'm going to put back the value for n that we calculated, and we're going to get Q2 P2 over Q1 P1 times P1 plus W dt. So we're going to equate these two expressions. We can see right away that the RW dt terms cancel. And we're just going to consolidate the rest. And when we do that, we can also cancel out the dt term. We get alpha 2 P2 minus Q2 P2 alpha 1 divided by Q1 has to be equal to RP2 minus Q2 P2 over Q1 times R. And with just a little more algebra, we can divide through by the P2 term, which we don't need. And by doing a little bit more, one more step of algebra, we get that the alpha 2 minus R over Q2 is equal to alpha 1 minus R over Q1. And so this ratio is constant and independent of the term of the 0. And again, to be a sharp ratio, we need to put a negative in the denominator of those Q's.